This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
A very good morning to all of you who are the 3rd of May. My name is Dr. Kezwa, and I'm here to talk to you about workplace readiness. As we in South Africa are gearing up to open up in industry, I felt that this is quite important that we share with you what services we can be able to offer you. For starters, I am a medical practitioner who has special interest and qualification in occupational medicine, and I'm here to offer assistance, of course, as a business to the many employers that might be having a few questions about what and how they should go about preparing their workplaces. I am going to share along with this talk the preparation that we have put together for you as our partners, and we would like you to be aware of what we can and cannot offer you. So allow me to just take you right to the beginning. I've already introduced myself. I'm a clinician with various interests. I've got 16 years experience in occupational medicine. I've conducted a few training sessions, but this is not about me, it's about what we can do for you. So what is it that we can do for you? We are here to offer you assistance with regards to your workplace readiness preparation. And as has been published in various media outlets and as stipulated in our regulations, there are certain expectations that employers have to comply with in order for their workplaces to be ready. We are not going to delve into the administrative side, which is basically the business management side, but rather we are going to be talking more on the occupational health side. So what can we do and how are we going to be able to offer you the services? We are in a position to offer you risk assessment services. Now, as an employer, most of you would have already conducted some risk assessment. And if that is you, what we will offer is the review taking into consideration the COVID-19, because that would not have been included in your workplace. In many instances, workplaces that have never been in the field of healthcare have never looked at biological substances as a hazard, but rather they have brushed it off to the side. And now we have this COVID-19 posing a great risk to industry, because on the one side, it could be imported, especially where your work processes are not looking at or exposing your employees to biological agents. In that case, you will import it. But once it's inside, it then becomes a different ballgame altogether. And with the current regulations, you now have to be very, very cautious as to what you cover and not cover. Whereas on the other side, there could be employees whose work processes themselves are subjecting them to the exposure. And in that case, it's part of the occupation or the work processes that these employees perform on a day-to-day basis. So we need to be able to differentiate as and when we do the risk assessment so that we can be able to assist you appropriately. One thing that is also common in industry is that we almost in all instances conduct walkthrough risk assessments, and as stipulated in legislation right now is that each employer needs to ensure that they can monitor or screen their employees in order to be able to see who is high risk, low risk, and who is likely to come into the workplace with a particular problem. So As and when we do what we do, we are going to offer you a weekly COVID-19 exposure rating tool. I'll come back to it a little bit later so that you can be able to understand what it is that we actually are referring to when we say a weekly exposure ratings tool. Because not only do we do this so that we know, but rather so that we can prevent the entry of an employee into the workplace, especially when they are at high risk. Now, we do all this in real time with interpretation and actioning. So it's not a question of like paper-based and. However, let me come back to this a little bit later. We are also going to assist you in the conducting of the daily self-screening tools, along with screening tools in the workplace for your visitors, for your employees, and for anybody else who might be impacted. We also go one step further and say, as and when we pick up a risk, because of the fact that legislation has dictated as to what you should do, you will have to be having a place where you can be able to afford this employee of yours a place where they can conduct a virtual online consultation with us. And all of these processes we do in an automated fashion. Once we pick up that post-screening there is a risk, or post-exposure risk rating, the risk is high, we are then able to ensure that we conduct a virtual online consultation, and we take the whole process from assessing the employee all the way till where they need to go. And should there be a need for them to self-isolate and or do other stuff that they need to do, we will be in a position to ensure that that is followed. So because of that, we are well positioned to be your partner. However, more than that, we will now come and give you reports. We give the live dashboard reports to the responsible person as dictated for in legislation, because that exactly is what needs to be done. You need to know the snapshot at that particular moment how your workplace is, because if you do know, then it will make it even better for you. However, in future, you will need to come back to this, because should it be picked up that there's somebody who was missed or somebody who was diagnosed with this condition, you will need to give account as to what is it that you have done. So we are here to partner with you. We will then give you the monthly management reports, but also from an electronics point of view, we will have the data repository available for you to actually peruse. Now, part of the other services that have to be given is employees need to know more about specifics. For example, we need to ensure that the appropriate selection and the use of PPE in the workplace is done. And this is going to be very critical in the containment of costs. It's not everybody who needs an N95 mask, nor is everybody to be excluded from having an N95 or higher mask should they need it because of the work processes and the exposure that they might be having. So we are here to train your employees on how to and which PPE to select for appropriate use in the workplace. We also need to teach them about the layman's understanding of what COVID-19 is. So here again, we need to ensure that things are done and done correctly by teaching your employees what is COVID-19 and many other issues that we can be able to teach your employees. COVID-19 hygiene services and applications, well, here's the thing. Cleaning and disinfecting are two different things. Sanitizing your hands, you might have to sanitize with a particular agent. But let's say that in the workplace that you are, it is found that somebody contracted this disease. It might be possible that maybe the surfaces have not been cleaned, and we are able to partner with laboratory services, and we do environmental screenings where we would possibly take swabs and or other samples in order to ensure that we know where exactly the failure in controls came from, so that we can then be able to put things in, interventions into place that will assist you. We also go one step further in ensuring that as we do what we do, like now, we're sharing information with you, but we're going to go one step further. Because of the fact that not everybody is technologically inclined, we are going to assist you first by sharing this information using interactive means. Like right now, we're broadcasting to a few of you that have joined us in the session, but also on the other hand, we're going to be able to share this video at a later stage so that people can be aware. However, we are going to do exactly that for all the other services that we are actually offering. Now, that is the theoretical information sharing. And then after that, we're going to start with a paper-based record of how it should be. Now, bear this in mind. We do not recommend that you use this method because of the fact that the bug can sit or stay on surfaces, including paper. If it is possible, make sure that whoever takes out a logbook remains the custodian of that logbook, because if it is going to be passed from one person to the other, it is going to give us problems with regards to the spread should one of the people who are holding those papers come in contact or be infected. So we will assist in ensuring that as and when you do your paper-based reporting, you are transitioned from that to the electronic method, which is the preferred method. At a later stage, we're going to show you how to access our user portal, whether you are an employee or whether you are the employer, because various accesses come in at different times and various reports are available to different user types. Now, having said that, this comes back to how are we going to be able to deliver this to you? We are able to deliver face-to-face, which is in this current context, not very, very convenient unless there is exceptional circumstances that dictate for us to actually do exactly that face-to-face. However, in all other industries and in everywhere else where there's no need for us to come out to you, we are able to conduct all of these services within the electronic, live, and virtual platforms that we have created. We are able to reach anybody within the South African borders. And as we have said, should it be necessary that we go out, we will go out. However, due to the limitations in transportation at this point, we are only able to cover a few provinces like Limpopo, Gauteng, the Mpumalanga, and a little bit of the northern KZN province. Now, one may ask, what will it cost you? Well, it depends. We have a set unit cost which are from uniform. However, depending on the number of work sites, the total number of employees you have, the connectivity within your workplace so that we can be able to conduct online training, those will dictate as to how much you will ultimately have to pay. But we have, along with us, published a link where you can register, and we can then be able to know that you need our services, and we can be able to quote you or give you the pricing so that we can be able to share with you as much information as we can. Now, this is basically what we can do for you in relation to workplace preparedness for the COVID-19 pandemic time. However, as I've said, I'm an occupational medical practitioner. I have a team who's supporting me, and we are able to offer you other occupational health related services. This is just in particular only for the COVID-19. But if you are looking for other services other than just the COVID-19 related services, we are able to offer you. And thank you very much for joining us. If you have any questions, I will be expecting you guys to email them to me. My email address is casmguna@drcaswellinc.com, or you can use casmguna@xiteinfotech.com, xiteinfotech.com. My number, you are able to call me or send me a WhatsApp on this number, 082-465-4637. And for those of you who are online, you can be able to send us interactive tools, questions. Please go ahead and we'll be able to answer your questions. Thank you very much for those of you who are not going to be part of the interactive session, but should you need us to be to your service, we are here. Thank you very much. God bless you.